Okay. Morning, everyone. Sorry, a little bit slow, just getting organised bit by bit. Hope we're well, and I'll unmute that. There we go. That might help a bit. All right, welcome to Trade Setup and a live trading stream. Will be the 14th of October. So no action. There was no action to talk about on the Hang Seng yesterday. I'm hoping it will be open today. I haven't seen anything to the contrary. Otherwise, we'll just have a bit more of a chat. I'll go through. Just have had two trades today on the SPY, and that's it. I was looking at a few that potentially on was it EML, not EML, EML. Yep, EML. But that's still pretty stronger than what I thought it might be. Just watching APT again. Had a short on that yesterday, which did well. I got out just before the rally back up into the close, which was handy. And I didn't get any of this on. I wasn't really looking at it then, but I was watching this ramp up, thinking we're going to get it extended. We'll have to get it extended sooner or later. We might just drift lower. I was looking for a lower high up here, just didn't play out. It sort of went straight down, and wasn't really interested in that. So that's pretty much the day. Well, so far anyway. So we'll see. The market's actually bounced back quite well. If you just go and look at the SPY, it actually opened weak, which you're expecting it. The SPY futures overnight, basically in the US session open. It was the high of the day coming into the open for the night session, which was at what 5:15, I think. Oh, something. I think it's 5:15 at night. Correct me if I'm wrong on the futures, and it pretty much backed off from then through the European session and again through the US session. Even though the US was, hanging in there. Okay, we backed off 50 points or so it was looking like a really weak open on the ASX. But I think I was talking about that this morning, saying don't expect there could be the potential we're going to get some bargain hunting on the open because you know the back and all everyone's expecting that 6,200 on the ASX to break, which is up here. We were talking about that yesterday. If it finishes below, it might be a bit more negative than what we'd like to see. And of course, I think it finishes at 90, finished at 95. Is that the close? Yeah. So it finished at 95, 60 95. And then we're expecting about a 30 point down today. We didn't quite, actually more like 50 points. And actually the ASX held up a bit better. So there would have been some bargain hunters jumping in there this morning on the open. And they've lifted the market up. And of course, you see just the usual sort of tricks flushing out and then jumping up again. So it's still pretty bullish. Like we're looking at, you wouldn't believe that the ASX is going to get knocked around too much. Going to get knocked around too much coming into the elections, as in you everything we've had every reason to go down, but just haven't at this moment. And I think both sides will be happy to keep whacking out, stimulus news or stimulus headlines to make sure this market's supported. They both want to look like the good guy. Trump's tweeting it a lot. He's always saying, go. What was he saying today? Go hard or go home, or go heavy in regards to stimulus, go high or go home, or something like that. Yet he's the one that's been asking for a lot less, and he even was going to put it back. So he's changed his tune. He flips around depending on, I guess, what his polls are saying. He's basically anything to get that re-election. And then you got at the moment, the Democrats they're in the hot seat because their polls are getting better. They don't need to make a deal beforehand because they're actually on track already, potentially for a Biden win, and then they can release stimulus later. Now, in the meantime, it's been a couple of months since this is what I don't get. There's still a lot of pressure around there. It's been a couple of months since the stimulus package came off for households. Now, there's been a lot of people that are struggling over in the US it's just unemployment's still fairly high. I mean, companies are coming back. It doesn't mean they're employing more people or re-employing people. I think Trump's view has always been don't pay them too much because they won't get back to work. If you make it too enticing to stay home, they stay home. Simple as that. Same in Australia too. All the checks, no one's really out looking for a job if they have to, or wanting to go back to work if they're getting free money. Um, so he's sort of been against that. But on the flip side, there's a lot of people that have lost their job. Um, I don't think they're ever going to come back. And the more this takes time to come about some sort of agreement on stimulus, then the more people are going to you're going to cut back spending, aren't you? And spending is a massive um, income generator for US. Uh, so if that's not going to happen, not as much. You might feel downside pressure on the labour market. It's already starting to peak. Um, Unemployment numbers start to tick up and put pressure on the downside. So we'll see how that goes. But that to me is enough of a reason why we should be sent aside. We're just not. And that's everyone's waiting to see what happens. Anything, a bomb could go off in Wall Street, and it still won't go down at the moment. The way it's viewed, it's a bit nuts. You've got every, like I said, negative reason, but stimulus they can just keep pressing that print button, and everyone's happy. And that's the thing that's going to drive them back out of the market. Stimulus, flood the market with dollars. US dollar weakens, better for exports. Then you've got not so good for inflation. So that's the flip side of it. But good for borrowing, debt. It's just keeping that debt bubble going, which sooner or later that's going to implode, you would think. All right, so let's get on to. I just want to look at the trades from this morning. It was only a quick, and I'm probably going to have the same old problem. I've got to close down more, don't I? As soon as I go live, for some reason, it's not liking it. All right, so let's get rid of a few things, eh? Let's get rid of that. I don't know if it's just Chrome. I don't know why it's struggling. The computer should be good enough to do more than one task. Not a male computer, it should be more than one task at a time. All right, so we got yeah. We had a comment in our Discord channel today from someone saying the mood has definitely shifted on debt. It's like the world is going mad with someone else's credit card. Pretty much, it's just a free for all. You know, if the market keeps reacting positively to stimulus, then we'll keep buying it. Simple as that. And as long as they keep printing, and all no one's looking too far down the track, are they? It's always someone else's problem. So I guess some of the US going to be left with a problem sooner or later. Which president it might be, or which Democrats or Republicans who gets left with that is going to be a problem. What am I doing here? Let's just get up. Here we go. Just going to get up platform. Sorry, guys, just be one moment. So still, getting supported on that on the 5 minute chart actually looks quite buoyant for another pushback to 62. We'll see if today we can get through it. Hmm. If I change browsers, might work. Right, so we've got just minimize that. Should be good to go now. So that's the Dow there. Look at that mess through here on the Dow. That was when the market opened. So we've got 12:30, 11:30, 11:30 open. So it was somewhere in here. That's just choppy. That to me, those swings are about 100 points or so. You know, it's swinging up and down. So if intraday trading that, chopped to pieces, you would expect people are getting chopped to pieces there. That was just, it seems like two algos having a bit of a battle of the titans between the two biggest algos. One's bearish and one's bullish, just smashing each other. So that's would not have liked the trade. It's not really conducive to anything really I was looking at. Might have been trading the edges, trading the lower highs, and then taking a profit, not looking for a run. The way that was looking, they had a bit of a spike down and bounced straight back into the close. Yeah, that was into the close there and held up okay. Bit buoyant at the moment. We'll see what happens there. And we'll get over the SPY. Just go run through those two trades from this morning. They're both longs. One I cut myself out of, which I know I've missed this move up here, but it doesn't matter with the SPY at the moment. You know, you'd want to be taking 10 points pretty quickly. I'd suggest. Now it was in this level, so it was around the 1 minute chart. So in here, I think I took a long. It was just within this candle here, just towards the top end of the candle. Had a bit of a pop up. Didn't really go anywhere. This flush out, I held through, and then it got back up here, and I just took it off even. Once it started to fail again, roughly where I got in, so I think I was down 2 points all in all. I bailed on that because I wasn't sure whether this was going to be, essentially what you're looking at is this action here, 1, 2, looking for it to go. When it doesn't, and we start to hold that level, I just thought this was going to hold off a higher low. We've got, well, that's the anticipation. We've got this through here, big run up, which is good. It's positive. It broke through a level. You can see just through here, it broke through that. Whoops, that's not very good, is it? Yeah, it broke through that zone there. And what you can see is, it's very jumpy, my computer. What you can see is propped up. That was towards the open. I think it was here. I didn't take anything in here. I probably should have, just looking at that, but I wasn't watching it. I was looking at the stocks at that stage. So that kicked off okay. You can see that's sort of your first pullback. So you're looking to see the first pullback. What happens, especially with the bullish market the way it is, you can probably afford to give it a bit of room on the upside on the SPY, knowing that okay, if it's going to go again, it's probably going to go just as hard, and you can get a few points out of that. And lo and behold, you got 70 up to about nearly 10 points there, taking that sort of trade with that spike higher. If you take that break, that could have easily been a flush. So although it worked out, I mean, it was looking good. There's a lot of times the SPY will look like that, flush and then dump on you. Not saying that was going to happen, but you're better off being that kind of setup on the long side the way with these markets are, rather than reversing that and being on the short side with the way the markets are bullish at the moment. I don't think you'd want to be trading short with that kind of setup, move down, pop up, retest the lows, looking for that breakout lower. I mean, that would be more of a flush than on the bullish side. So that worked out. There was another little trade there, but it's not what I played with. So you've got big push up, come all the way down. That's your first move. Your secondary move, which flushed, and you see this big rejection, flushing through back into that zone just below. There would have been a few stops been tagged on there, just below that level. Then started to pop. So once we broke through here, that's why I was looking for that long there, just off this higher low, little shoulder we're talking about. Look for it to test back up to the highs. It was obviously, in hindsight, it was a little bit too early. Ran a little bit too early out of the gates, quick out of the gates. So that's okay. But after seeing this action here, that sort of grind lower, any sort of spike was getting bought back up. So I was actually going to buy it in here just when it started. You get that one candle, red candle. Once it started to tick up again, I was looking to buy it. I thought it's not, because in essence we could have got that lower high. You may have had to, if you're looking at this, you may have had to change your tune on that. So buying it here wasn't the best thing because that could have either been that's the resistance zone now. That's not right. You've got resistance up here, a little minor double top, and we're going to go all the way back down again, just drift low into the close. So that's uh, is that a little bit? If I move this, is that a little bit better there? Sorry, Sedge, is it? Is that better seeing that there? So the prices you can see on the right now, I'm assuming. Just let me know. Right, so that's what I was looking at there. So yeah, I was looking at this kind of move down, flush out these lows. So you've still got this action in here. We've got that there. Right, so that there, so that flush there, and then rebound. And I'm sort of looking at this going, well, probably going to do the same thing. We're going to flush it up. To me, that overall structure, especially once you've got one, two, that secondary move down, and then you've got a bit of a grind. To me, that grind low is saying, okay, I expect a bit of a pop. I'm expecting a pop, retest of those highs, and then you'd want to get long. So that's going long there was probably a touch too early in hindsight. Then once we got this sort of action, I was debating here. I had the finger right on the trigger, um, looking to go long. As it played out, I mean, it was good because in hindsight, it wasn't the best thing to do. Looking to go long, well, it turned out okay, but I don't think that was the best trade from what I'm looking for, my strategy. It was just anticipating that we're going to get soaked up. We're just flushing the low. What we're doing is just getting some buyers, flushing them out, getting some buyers, flushing out, and someone, is edging in or building a bit of a long position, and then they're going to pop. Eventually, they're going to have to pop. If that's the case, so if they're going to pop, you know that you're probably looking for a run up to the highs, the previous highs anyway. And it was about here when I got long. So we had this little run up here. I didn't get long up here. I waited. We got to pull back into this candle basically, and then got a bit of a run up, and basically took it off. We punched into the high. I was watching it there. If we didn't, I wanted to see it go straight through. I didn't want to see. So I know that there would have been some stops up there, ready to be triggered. And I thought the market's probably going to trigger them, and then we might back and fill a bit and reset and go again. So as soon as that weakness came, you got this bit of a rejection. Bang! I was out. Took it 10 points there, basically down to, so net up 8, which I'm pretty happy with, considering on the SPY. And then you've got, obviously, it did back off all the way back down to where I was entered. So I wouldn't have been under pressure if I held it, but I'm not willing to hold that sort of thing. You shouldn't really see that get smashed like that. You would expect something holding back off the MAs and then lifting in hindsight. Could have held it, but and got a better price now, a few extra points on that. Then you've got to sit through all this. We're maybe lifting here, maybe not. So that was the trades on that was the trades for the SPY, the futures. But that's it. That's it for today. I wouldn't assume I'll be doing too much more on that. So any questions anyone's got that just want to chuck in the chat? If I'm not coming through clear enough, just let me know. Um, so let's get into. Let's just get into another thing I've got to change. There we go. I've got people start to drift in slowly, coming to the session. So anyone doesn't know, we sort of focus more on the Hang Seng. Hang Seng's opening up 12:15 now, and that's assuming that it does today. Just to wait and see. 12:15 it starts to kick off. I haven't seen any news, like I was saying. Let me just check actually that. Okay, so there's nothing much at the moment. They might be starting to pick up. No, not at this stage. So, all right, let's just get into setting ourselves up for the Hang Seng then. Actually, let's just go quickly. We've got the. Hasn't that anything that's saved, which is a shame, isn't it? So none of these levels. What that's going on. So I had set up some levels through here, which, okay, that's fine. We'll just quickly do them again. This zone, so that's the close from the previous session. Don't worry too much about these. So all this action, there's been no futures market open. M&S, yeah, okay, no worries. So we're looking at all that action after what you see basically from this yellow line to the right-hand side. Markets are closed. So there's no futures open. There was no index trading. So that's where the night close was. Well, yesterday morning, not this morning. So it closed at 6 a.m. If I'm right, 6 a.m. On the Hang Seng, and wasn't obviously open this morning, and it closed 6 a.m. So that's the close from 6 a.m. of yesterday morning. So all this action here was really when nothing's been open. And it hasn't really moved too far away from that. So with the CFD is showing 675 at the moment. It closed somewhere around 50 points higher thereabouts, 40 to 50 higher. So not a big deal. So really we've got this level potentially up here, this level still probably actually, what am I doing? That's the wrong level, isn't it? It's all rubbish. And we're looking really at that level of where the futures were trading. So even though it's gone through, it hasn't stopped at anyone on the futures market. Okay, so if you got long into here, into the close, and you hadn't been able to trade it, you hadn't been stopped out here, so you still got some long positions, and the market's above there at the moment. So it's still looking okay. Just have to wait and see what happens with either one of these two levels on the open. But at the moment, we'll just see how it goes for the next 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, just to see where it starts to play around coming into the futures market open. So just get over to the Hang Seng now. So same sort of scenario, really. I'm guessing for the Hang Seng. So this, if you can see that, so this is a futures market. Futures on the left-hand side. The index is on your right. Okay, so when index closed here, the futures market was trading probably a little bit lower. Let's just see where it was in the futures on the CFD. It was 7 o'clock. So somewhere in here. So we had a futures that closed early hours of yesterday morning slightly higher than current price, and the index closed slightly lower. So we're roughly where we are at the moment. If we hang around here, you'd think the index itself is not going to open up. It's going to open up somewhere in that zone. I wouldn't expect. So this is a 30-minute chart. Just focusing on that. So that's where the index was trading. Futures went a bit higher. So we're somewhere in this zone at the moment, according to the CFD. But we'll see what the CFD does in the next 10, 15 minutes, because I'll start to factor in the pre-open. And then we'll go from there. Why is it not receiving enough video? Upload's fine. All right, so is anyone seeing a bit of buffering through YouTube? At the moment, is it coming through okay? It seems to be okay on my end, but you never know. All right, so same sort of scenario. We'll just see where that opens and then start to look at it a bit harder. So yeah, the scenarios for today, we've got to be extended. This here, if we start to take out this, on the index, we'll get to the 5-minute charts now. It's mainly with the index. That's not the run. Why won't you even move? Oh, this is annoying. Okay, we'll have to just push through. See, the market's eased off into the close on the index. It had a bit of a good run up from the open, backed off, had another good run. Just consolidated through those highs through to the 7 o'clock close. Now I think the US was up the next night, and it was down last night. So it's kind of a mixed bag. You've got an up night to look at from the US and down night, so pretty much a neutral. So it would be interesting to see how this opens on the Hang Seng. So I'm looking for, if you start to get a bit of a pop higher on the open, you start to get some, the market drifting higher. Or the market, if the index wants to go high and take out these highs, it can easily extend. It can easily extend up into this zone, which is another resistance zone from on the 30-minute chart. So somewhere at around the 24,800. So it's got a couple of 100 points on the upside that it could do easy. And if that's the case, then you were just looking for that higher low to play out on the lower time frame, just trying to get out along. So we'll just see if this starts to kick up and we get some sort of action. But if the Hang Seng's probably going to open up stronger, it's more to do with the futures market. Sorry, if it opens up stronger on the Hang Seng, the futures, then it may just power high and you might find this gaps up on the open and then we drift lower. So we just really want to see in the next 15 minutes what the futures do. So it's more important, we can guess all these sorts of stuff, but more important to see what they're thinking about doing in the first few minutes. They're going to flush one way, which way they're going to flush, are we going to open up stronger, and so on. So the index is this side. Oh, well, that one works. We hope you're happy with me. So we've got the market holding up. If it's looking like it's going to hold somewhere between here, it's going to open a bit lower, depending on the CFD prices. We still got this anchor level that's holding the trend up, 24,607. So that's sort of your key zone. If it holds up, even this inside zone, if we can hold up in here, the market may just steady itself around here. Don't know. If we can hold up around here, open here, and sort of maybe we're going to flush, and then we'll see if it can rally. If it takes out these highs, we're going to be looking up towards, especially if we get it, punch through high or low, see if we can press up to that, 800 zone, get 100 points out of that if we can. If not, we might just back and fill, might grind low. If it flushes down too much, we could start attacking that and just remembering that the index itself is a bit stretched. So it may just want to clean out some people first. Okay, so for now, we'll just sit and wait and see. Now we'll get on to MNS. That's what you're looking at. It's looking quite good. Not much to say about that one, is there? Actually, it's looking very good. Magnus Energy. Smally. You can see the bids are stacked. If anyone doesn't know much about Spark's brilliant. So when you look at the market depth, you can just take it at a glance to see. You don't really care about the numbers as such. There's enough liquidity there. 355,000 on the offer. Yeah, it's a good, what's that, 60, 70 grand? 70 grand or so. Yeah, so there's more than enough on the offer, and the bids are quite stacked up when you start looking down to 20 cents, 19 cents. So it looks like that high low wants to be held. They want to hold that high low. So for me, that doesn't look too bad at all. You got some volume come through. Volume on this little run up has some good volume. Backed off. Obviously, volume eased off, but it's not a bad thing when you start consolidating. The volume thins out at the highs. It means that someone's not coming in and smacking it lower. Okay, if the volume's heavy and it's holding, that's a good thing too. But obviously, if the volume starts to lift and the price is actually heading south, it's not a good sign that people are too confident in it. Okay, in the price. But the fact that it's just been going sideways, it means that It's probably a bit too high. It needs to consolidate before more buyers start to dive in, but no one's selling at the same. So it's just that small amount of volume chipping in and chipping out, or whatever there may be, a few sellers, a few buyers, but nothing significant. So if we start to get, which we have through here, if you can see through here, found a few, you can see the volume lifted a bit, and it started to lift since then. So this consolidation through here, around the 20 above and below, there's got a bit of volume there, which is good, and it's starting to consolidate there. So if we can get a pop up through 22, even I think you've got sort of that 23.4 mark to be to contend with. Weekly looks quite good. The weekly is actually just bouncing off the MA, so that could easily take out 30 and just keep running. So I'm actually going to keep that on the watch list. I think it's quite good. So even though it's only 156 market cap, it's small. It hasn't done a lot of volume today, but it's got the potential if it's going to, if they do want it up, there's more than enough volume and liquidity to get set. All right. So how'd that go? Was that make much sense? Just check that in there so I can answer me when I get time. Right, so for this Chrome's a lot slower. Well, it seems to be a lot slower. Alrighty. So that's the SPY there, just having a bit of a look at that. See how they just, maybe it's just Chrome. FMG. Is this one here? BWX. See, I like this kind of pattern. It sort of forward bucks is the level for me, or just under for the anchor to this uptrend. You know, it's set on the MAs through here and here, just below 4 and about 4 there. BWX, we've got some volume increase here, and then we're just flushing lower at the moment. So we can hold something inside level. I don't really just want to see it. I'd rather see it inside level once we backed off like that. I'm just trying to show you there's nothing really around. We'd hold it inside, a bit of a pullback and a higher low in here. That would be good. Even if we chop around sideways, it might flush out and then it could start to rally in. It might kick off. The weekly, it's got some room to move to the upside. It's doing okay. Just keep an eye on that one too. There's my old MVP. MVP's just struggled. Doing some good things. It's just been long a couple of times and took a hit. I think I took a hit in here. Well, not really. No, I didn't. I just gave up all my gains basically, which is a shame. Okie dokie. Right, so still a few minutes till the index CFD's open. Let's try. I'm just going to try the other browser, see if it runs a bit better. Chrome. Get that. Right, so if anyone doesn't know, there's a good little demo account you can play with on Trade Direct. I use it quite a bit. You know, I'm just going to add a few things in, so just be probably a bit quiet for a minute. I'm just trying. Oh, pop. There we go. So it's suggesting the index is going to open about 100 and something higher, just sort of flush into that zone. Okay, I think that's right. Sorry guys, just be it's kicking off a bit, which is nah. Sorry, son. Not sure. I think it's just because I'm going to 3 hours. I'm gonna have to figure that out. How it's best to record. So I've got one go into Trading View. So like streaming live into Trading View and into YouTube. Um, and my screen's getting pushed out to Discord as well. We'll see how Discord goes. I might just. If you're there, Adam, how's the Discord coming through? Is it the screen showing okay? It's really kicking off, isn't it? Hmm. Okay, we'll quick Koji in. Oh, it's gone, mate. On a daily, I mean, I couldn't buy it if you're long, great, because that structure looks pretty good. So we've had a bit of a pullback here, back to the MAs. On the weekly, there's not really not much of a pullback at all on the weekly. It's been strong ever since March. Looks like nothing now, that pullback. In March, it's just gone rocketed higher. So if you're long, great. I can't buy things like that. I like to buy in this structure, sort of. But then I'm looking at this overall trend has just been so strong. Getting probably caught out lately, just thinking this market may pull back at any time, which it could do. It does pull back and then it gets bought back up again. So yeah, to me, it's well and truly stretched. The price is extended. We just got through these highs. We're in the clear skies. It could keep going. But for me to buy that anywhere sort of around here, I can't do it. It's extended on both the weekly and the daily, saying that the majority of people are long. Which if the majority of people are long in my book, that's a lot of fodder to get out again if there is a pullback. So I mean, say the US ends up you're long up here, US ends up down 500, 600, 700 points overnight, just a gap down. You sort of know that. And then you could be, so that's why I'm hesitant to take a long. If you're long from here, great. If you gap down, it's probably not going to gap down too far. But you can weather the storm a bit. But if you're buying up here, that's what you could be facing. So I just can't bring myself to do it. But either way, so what I might do is just close that off, purely because I want to see if it's so much data coming through, right? That's absolutely frustrating, that is. This just looks like it's stalled to me. No. The market's just open. It's got knocked around a bit. Big spike lower there. Alright, so now this is this here is okay. That's not good. Bit of a pullback there. So again, if you just look at this 5-minute chart, we're roughly back to where it closed, pretty much on the ball, right where it closed on early hours of yesterday morning. So all the fluff in between, we flushed out the high there and we're back below. So there's a chance if that's just a big flush out, big wash, we might be looking for some downside movement. I mean, it's too early to say. You can't look at one candle. It can easily hold a high low and then bang up we go again. It's just flushed it out, pull back, reset, go. So that's the things we're just keeping an eye on. So let's just see if this runs a bit better. I've closed down a few things. Does okay, I think. it's just with trading, obviously, too many programs open with trading is probably one of the things. You've got so much data coming through, and then when your process is trying to churn over the data coming in and then trying to pump it out, your upload speeds are a hell of a lot slower than your downloads. I'm doing it to three different areas, which is probably killing the CPU a bit. Might need a better one. So I can explain that to the wife. All right, let's just see. So Dow's backed off a bit. Okay, so looks like it wants to. So this is a harder thing to trade where you just all this flushing. I think you find out the index opens down and just goes straight down. You got no real setup on the downside after that big flush higher. But the markets are still tough. You don't. So where to close here? So we're just trying to figure out roughly where that index should be. So the index is basically it's done something like this, flush higher, and it's come straight back down. Yeah, down here. So that's the future, sorry. So I think we're back into this zone, which is the lows. Is that right? Yep, into the close. So we're back down here, which means we're trading back into these lows. So we're still, price is still holding up okay. And we're still going to open up slightly on the index if we're trading here. The index is about here. So you give or take 35, 75, 40 points. The way that's going, it's probably going to back off in that soon, isn't it? So you might find the future's going to close that gap before the index opens. There's nothing, I mean, that's just heading down. I'm not going to short that into this support zone. So yeah, it's just sit back this stage. So if you don't, that's a 5 minute chart and a 1 minute chart. You got to hate a 200 point drop and you get nothing out of it. $15, so it's open, just comes straight down. So the US dollar's lifted a bit. Creating a bit of negativity into the market. So you comment, Adam. Yeah, I think there's a lot to look at with the indices, but you don't have to worry about it. It's the same sort of thing. Day trading stocks can be it's something announcement. You can be up, down, whatever. Announcement comes out, it's frozen, and then you get smashed. So there is good and bad in both. I've always done more intraday trading into indices, with crude bits and pieces, DAX. Hang Seng I used to do a long time ago. It was probably my best. I used to do better on that than the SPY, and the SPY was kind of you do okay. But it was just it seemed harder to trade because the volatility was better in the Hang Seng. So I haven't traded it for a long time until probably the last few months or so. It has been a bit of a rough ride, but still, I think there's generally some good volatility. Whereas stocks, I mean, if you day trade stocks, there's a lot of. It is easy because stocks are generally made to go up, and if you can get a good open, it looks solid on the day trending up, it's kind of a lot easier, I think. But you're essentially not going to get the bigger moves, I wouldn't think. Do you trade them a bit yourself, Adam? Adam, is it Damien? I'm not sure. Call you Adam. That's the first name I see in that handle. All right. So a few more minutes until we're starting. We're poking down into these lows. Um, just flush through these lows. So just look at the futures, see where they are. Down into these lows. So at this stage, we're just here. We're kind of coming in line to where the index open. We're still going to open slightly higher on the index. So let's just have a look at what that means. Get rid of that. So that's the index there. Let's go to a 5 on that. Yeah, it's slightly higher up here. I mean, if it opens and sort of holds in that zone, I still can't. Why is it not doing that? All right, we'll fix you. All right, it's better, isn't it? So it means we should be opening about here as long as that, the index roughly opens, well, holds in here. Looks like the index is going to open up slightly higher, but nothing fantastic. And we'll just see whether this punches back up again or because the index itself is still holding this trend. the trend up, so we could launch up into this zone. So it wouldn't be a bad idea if we just keep an eye on the 1 minute chart to see what happens with the index. Starting to hold above that MA, so what you'd like to see, if it's going to be a bit more positive, a bit of a pop up, see what happens in the first pullback. At the moment, we're just sort of curving, doesn't know what to do. So I'm just realizing if we do jump in a trade, the idea is to sort of talk it through. It's going to be hard to give you an alert, say buy here, sell there, that sort of thing. Purely because I think it's so delayed, especially coming through into YouTube. So the actual, might even find my prices are delayed, but they seem to be coming through okay. It's just uploading's the thing that's the problem. So uploading, you're going to see it. It's going to be delayed. I'll open up here, are we? What's that stupid little price up there? I don't know why it's. So you next have sort of some match off. Should be opening in about a minute. So open it slightly higher. Gapping back in here, which is roughly matches up to where the index is. Just see if this finds a bid in here and just go straight through, which could easily just go straight through. It looks like the index is actually popping a bit. So just watch that for looking for is if it holds too long under here, there could be a bit of an expansion, a further expansion lower. Needs more data, really. All right. hate that to be a move down because it doesn't look like a short, but it's could just go from here. The index is just dropping through the lows, coming to the close yesterday. So it could be that, we're down here at the moment. Don't expect the trend is down on the one anyway. It's just you can see it's not really too content on just popping through that low. So I think it's the world's best short. It's kind of on the Hang Seng, the moves can happen early. All right, so not see we've got this MA's curving up. It could be just contracting, so just be aware we could punch down if we hold here for too long. There might be just a bit of buying below that support. It's not going anywhere. Once they realise we're on the wrong side, it could be start to unwind and head south. Of course, if we keep grinding back up, it's going to be a different story. So we'll have to just wait and see. Seeing if you're finding some sellers just in here. Just look for this could. So the index itself looks like if I'm just hovering down here, the 1 minute's looking a bit rougher. It's just on those lows there. So really, it's all right. No, I was thinking about short, and I'm not confident that that's not a great setup. And we just closed down, so I don't mind seeing it close down below the whole moving average, especially when the 20 and the 50 are down. Close down and take a short on that on the break. Yeah, it's bounced straight back, so you sort of it expands a bit more. There's going to be a bit of a kick on, but even the 5 looks a bit of a mess as well. There's a Dow. It's a Dow spike lower. 12.15. The Dow is the Hang Seng at the moment, and vice versa. So I've just got the index on a different screen there. Don't just grind down. You just expect it to whip back pretty hard. You remember too, the index. The index is when it decides to load, it's up. You know, we're sort of backing up a bit, but you know, the strength is still up. So it might just be grinding. So that's sort of grinding lower, flushing out. You see what the level, say through here is holding the trend up. So leg up, pull back, leg up, just contracting that leg now. It's hard to trade into a contractive market. It's very choppy, which is sort of what we're doing at the moment. It's still contracting, so you wouldn't mind seeing if it's set. And it crosses. No, unfortunately, I don't. Through trading view, do you mean? There might be if it's on trading view, there might be a specific, what do you call them? Yeah, specific app or not app. Someone's programmed it or whatever you call it, script or whatever it might be. Might just have to play through it, but I've never used it that way. I'm not sure if there's one through trading view. I don't think there is anywhere else. It could be because maybe you can actually alert. Just click on the alerts, play around, and see if it actually gives you the option to click on a certain price for the certain data point on the actual MACD. This is a all fun and games again. So how are we all anyway? See how we sort of started to sort of push down, had another bit of a push, tried to push again, edging back up. I'm not confident that that's going to head down with any gusto. So I don't really want to be short. I mean, if it's going to be short, it's going to grind down. I don't want to be part of that either. I don't think that's kind of the trade we're after. The 5 minute from the open's obviously down. It's open just plunged down. It's down just below that support. The actual index itself is contracting. It's off to high. Whether we sort of start holding around this zone and start to lift, I think it just needs to sucker in a few sellers, clean out a few people, and then there might be something on the upside if we bounce back up to those highs. Okay, for now, you sort of respect the movement down. It's not usual if anyone's traded hand 10 before you've been watching it the last few days. It's not usual to see this sort of chop. Checking out a few things here. So it's lifted a bit. You see this kind of a W pattern forming. If we can get up and pull back and hold something, might look to flush higher. Dow's just it's dropped with the Hang Seng. It's just popping as well, so they're doing the same thing really. SPY will be doing the same thing. It's probably markets down. It'll probably be up. You've got the Nikkei, which where did it open? Nikkei sort of flushed down to support, reacted, went straight through resistance, and it's come back and tested support on that Hang Seng open. Yeah, so the SPY has, so that trade I was discussing earlier this morning, it popped up and then it had a bit of a pull out, went a bit higher. It's come all the way back down. It would have, back down to entry again, and then we're sort of back up towards the highs. So it's still choppy on the SPY. So I think there's anything in that as well. So this candle's going to close in a second just up here. I wonder if it's going to hold above or below, which is just that 12:30 candle. It's hold below. So I think that would be construed as my double top on the 1 minute chart. It doesn't mean too much. Trend is still down to 5. Wouldn't mind seeing a lower high. It just doesn't really want to do it, does it? Just checking the futures and the volume and things like that. It's coming through. This candle here was some good volume lifting it. I think with the 5, for that to curl back up, it's going to take some time. And if it just charges back up, it's going to be a tough gig. Sorry, there's not much at the moment, is there? So this little flush, we could be looking, if we hold in here just above this MA, I wouldn't mind seeing it finish it back above the MA. So that candle there is just doing some time to flush it out. We've still got a few minutes left. 2 minutes left in that candle. So if we sort of hold, we could pop back up. Still looking for, what's not going to happen now, is it? I mean, it could easily, it's just flushing, so it's just probing for a bit of liquidity in there. If we start to hold, we might get a bit of a push up. It may take all day to happen. Let's see if we sort of break up through here, 13, so it might be worth a buy. It's a very uncertain market lately. I don't know, six, which wants to go higher. Right, so this candle's going to finish in a minute. I think we might just be rangy through here. We'll see. It seems to be wanting to lift. So what we've done with swing, we've gone back above the MAs, back below, back above, back below. You know, for a few candles, it doesn't have to pick a direction soon, but it's not too keen on going short there. But probably just probe below that one. I'm actually looking at the index as well, looking for it to curve up. I think it's just trying to flush some buyers. It may just keep chopping. I don't like the action the way it is at the moment, because if you want it, this can hold in here, yeah, we could get a bit of a move to the downside. You want to be trading the shoulders, and ideally, I think we're looking at this 15 minutes, this 5-minute chart. That's still a bit of a grind. The market's trying to fight it out. If buyers, here start to get squeezed, we could accelerate to the downside. Just try and look at that acceleration. There is reason to believe if we start to head through this level, the actual index looks like it could go. Just not a very strong setup. It's going to expand into that level and then. Mm, no, I'm not getting short there. I've been caught like that before. So you look at this, thinking that it's going to go through here, extend. You're just extending. It's just getting bought up. See the 5. It's just flashing there. So the 5 minute, you know, wants to look like it. It looks like it wants to finish above. Just really got to fight them off the next minute or so, and then just keep an eye on that. If this sort of pops up and then we head south again, let's go now. Hmm. So we just look. Let's see if this finishes below that level. Rips back up. So we want to go short, but there's no confidence there. Yeah, taking it across there type of thing. It's good not shorting through that low. It's just got to grind. Let's just do that as well. So the dollar index is not moving much. It's like way it feels lately, we're lacking a lot of volatility during the days. Everyone's sort of waiting around for the US to do its thing at night and then reacting on the open, and then that's kind of it. Not all the time. Um, there's not as much focus on your own economy, I guess. Local economies, it's more just focusing on what the US is doing. I personally think a lot of economies are crap. It's just US keeps pumping out money, okay, it gets buoyed, gets a flow-on effect. Other the ECB pumps out money. We've been writing checks in Australia. So it's that debt thing again. We just keep throwing money at it. So getting onto the downside, you got to worry about throw more cash at it. So I wonder if it's just a short in here. Just a very minor short. Looking for the take at that low. Problem is, it's sort of against all the rules, or my rules anyway. It's more just a bit like the SPY, it pops up, comes down. We've popped up and closed above it, which a lot of the time you get a bit more of a flow-on effect. With the market swinging above and below that hole, momentum's still down. 5 is just rebounding back up. It's more sort of looking for an area maybe to short off this resistance with your stop above 602. It's a long stop at the moment though. So some sort of reluctant to jump in short there. Yeah, it might have been the right thing to do. The 5 minute candle's going to finish in a minute. So what you probably get, if you short it here, you probably get this sort of thing flush down through this low and then pop. You get about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 points up your sleeve when the market move a lot more than that in the hang seng, and then it does nothing. Okay. So it's a good idea. I just watch the prices a lot. These you can see when it sort of spikes down, it's knocked up 5 or 6 points. It's kind of it's a good idea when there's weakness. It's just gonna get chunked. It might pop and stop and hit again. But when it's kind of on a base, it's kind of it gets some keeps throwing some as it's grinding down. It keeps popping. So they're giving a bit of an nudge, but there's nothing. So this action to me is just grindy. So like we said here, we might just get through that low on this candle, we bounce back and just to flush everyone out. Mm. So yeah, it's just trotting. never trust the market that sort of takes people because you break the low, get some stops triggered short, and it turns around off. Unless you've got quite a big stop, um, it can chop you out. I mean, that sort of breakthrough here was at, say, 18. Stops really about at 60 or so, 70, 65, 45 to 50 points stop. Big for my book. The way there's no volatility in here, so who's not to say we don't, you have a tighter stop than that. There'll be some stops in here. We can retrace, flag them, and then go, get some more in. So it's just kind of washing. There's no real direction. So it's just a bit of a grind down. It's that pullback we're talking about on the index, that contraction off the highs. So it's harder to trade a contractive action than it is to trade into expansion. So expansionary phase is more like yesterday. Oh, sorry, a couple of days ago, we got this kind of thing, expands and higher with the MAs, holds, expands again. At the moment, we're sort of on the index, at least the trend is up, MAs are up, and it's just expanding lower. Right, so what I don't want to do is stuff up the day's gains with something silly. We turn it in reverse. So Dow hasn't reacted on the downside. Just moving Hang Seng. The Aussie market is holding okay. It's backed off a bit. And we got Nikkei. Yeah, Nikkei's still choppy between us. It's more range bound than anything else. So, looks like it's just going to keep edging lower right until 3 o'clock, knowing the Hang Seng. So, I like where there's no real action on the open. Still got, still early stages, I guess, but this kind of a move. If it's going to build a base and it's going to rally, we should have started to do it up here, build a bit of a base, and then you start to get anyone that's short in here. Might still trap some shorts, but I don't, it's still grinding lower, the index itself. Um, what's that, 60? And that's quite a big stop. All right. Let's just have a look at. I'll keep an eye on this on another screen. Let's have a look at some of these other markets. So we're looking at obviously a lot of things are just backed onto the US dollar. So we're sent out in the morning report. This morning. This US dollar, so it's bounced back. Okay, so you've got these lower highs still in play, lower high, lower high. So potentially that's a prime zone to get another lower high. And if that's the case, meaning that it's going to head south, there's a lot of other markets, say gold, euro, Aussie, all down on some decent enough support, which could lead to a bit of a bounce. So maybe the US dollar is going to chop around here until Europe opens, and then US, and then maybe a bit of a sell-off because they're still talking up stimulus. Now, it's going to be, the market knows they're playing politics also. So if a surprise stimulus package comes out, it's quite big, then expect the US to go down, US dollar to go down. When there was talk of potential stimulus soon, the US dollar went down. So the way it's bounced is more just, there's a bit of safe haven last night with the vaccine issues, a bit of safe haven buying into the US dollar. So it had a bit of a pop, and you got short sort of being squeezed out as well, especially when it's going nowhere here. If you're a short US dollar or anything related, well, basically short the US dollar, you can trade the futures there, and you're just trading off the back of that. You're short. Your stops are probably going to be pretty tight down here, especially when it starts to do nothing, and then you get squeezed out. So it's just squeezed out a lot of these shorts. So you'll be looking for this zone potentially to start. These longs that are just popped up, took a bit of a nab up, are looking to, they could be squeezed out. So if this starts to look heavy here, it could run down. So if you look at other markets like gold's popped off that, well, it's just flushed out the zone, just popped off this zone. That might be a big flush that leads to a rally back up through this level. And a lot of the time, so keep an eye on that. I like the way it sort of flushed down. It holds up above the 20s, above the 50. There's a whole moving average on these ones. I kind of like that big flush, and you might get some sort of buoyancy in the market leads up a move up through 1894, which, if that's the case, the US dollar is going to be heading south. And the US dollar could easily get heavy where it is because it's extended. Go and look at things like the euro. Euro, same sort of scenario potentially. It's a bit heavy down here. We're down in, that trend is up, flushed out a lot down here. We're down, potentially near a bid zone in here. Lows down here. It's extended. Maybe we're getting a bit of a bounce, and that obviously weighs up nicely to the index, the dollar index, and the Aussie. I was looking at this rising support, just that potentially holding a dynamic support, which it is at the moment. We've got this bit of a push down. That was on the open of the Hang Seng, and then it seems to be starting to make its move back up again. So if that's the case, that works in well. You've still got that contractive action, so you've got lower highs, longer term trend up. So that contracting off these highs, if you have a look at the longer term chart, move up, expansion, could get a contraction, expansion, contraction. So we're going to go back into expansion. I'll just keep an eye on that. So there's a couple of things that potentially lining up. But again, a lot of this action happens overnight, so it's tough to gig if you're an Australian trader. You got to trade the bigger time frames, which means obviously more risk, and it takes a lot longer to play out. And anything can happen because a lot of this market's just news driven at the moment. Stimulus news, what is it called, elections. You never know what's going on until you wake up in the morning and go, okay, they said this. He's trying to support the market. Oh, he said this, playing politics. So look at this now. We're just back into that zone on the index. It's a 30-minute chart. Are we going to find some support, or are we just going to keep drifting lower? Well, let's see a bit of a bounce, but so the fire's definitely drifting. We've got just use this. The anchor to that trend is still way down here. Well, anchor to that move down is still, 570. The market's down at 40, 50 points, 50 points lower. So this is delayed 15 minutes, but 6 HSI. It's still grinding. It's still grinding low. I've got no reason why I want to be short, even though it's probably the place to be. It's just too much of a grind for me. All right. What I might do, guys, is just I don't think much is going to happen. Doesn't seem like much is going to happen. More of this grind ground, sweeping people in and out. So there's enough. Actually, we'll just keep watching it for a bit. There's enough on the downside that could easily get squeezed out. There's more than enough time. So the market will close at 3 to 4 for an hour. It has contracted lower. You see on the index, which is looking at, it's contracted lower. 5-minute anchor is still up here. Oh, it takes it this. Let's just say it's here. It's the first level. If you start to take out that level, at the moment, the one looks like it's just going to keep chipping away on the downside. There's more than enough that could easily get squeezed out. What level's that? 513. 5. So we've still got that level there. 55. 558. And then up here. So we start sort of breaking up. There we go. We start to break up here. Could start to put some pressure on these longs, but you know, it's still, the trend is down. It moves down. It could just chop up. We might flush that level and then turn and head south because the trend is still down. It hasn't broken that trend. I want to see it have a good rip. If we get a good rip and then we had to pull back and stick that high low, then that could be something to look at. So this is the first time the 5 minutes just finished above the hull. It doesn't mean anything, but it may do. It might be, it's showing a bit more pressure from the bulls. It's a very rough market from the old Hang Seng. So we're getting a bit of a pop. Wouldn't mind seeing if it can actually pull back rather than just go chip, 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 chip. I don't see it chipping high like that. Oh, there we go. So let's see if, just stick around for a bit, see if the market can just, so now we've got, the MAs are still down on the 5. Okay, so the 5 minute trend is down. It's just having a bit of a retracement of, this leg down. You still got the anchor up here. So let's just see what happens when it gets up to. I don't want to see it just jam straight up there, but I'd hate to see it just keep going up. That would be frustrating. Looking for a long and not getting an entry, waiting all this time. But still, that trend is down. You don't expect it just to turn like that in a V and then straight back up. You sort of expect some sort of base, maybe a retest towards it, a higher low to form. And then I think if the higher low forms from here, you get a bit of a pullback from a higher low, it may just sort of flatten out and you might have that deeper pullback, potentially to 622. And that could give you, if it's a higher low start the building, and it's just watching this pop in your short, you might be sitting through it, you might be looking at, okay, it could re-establish short. Let's just wait. We're not under too much pressure just yet, especially if you're shorted it from the open. But if you start to get the market, okay, it goes back down again, they're right, but it starts to fall short of the lows and starts to hold a higher level, something in here, then they're going to have to think twice. So anyone short build up here that's holding didn't get squeezed out on this pullback, they might have to think twice about it. And that's sort of what we're looking for to see if we can get the long as they get squeezed and see if we can get a bit of a spike back up. At the moment, it's just a grind back up. It's not a spike at all. It's been well and truly controlled, this market. What's Dow doing? Dow's popped. Oh, not a lot. Just back up towards the highs. ASX 200. Hmm. Yeah, so we're just going through there. Good on you. Let's see whether are we just going to keep chugging away higher? Or is there going to be some selling trying to protect this this zone. All right. Might look to take a short up here, just in fact there's nothing else to do, but it's going to be a small one. And not if it starts to pop up. We've still got another minute, so this minute, I want to see it, essentially I want to see it hold below this level through here. So the market's, it's popped up. Okay, so we squeezed some buyers out. There's still sellers in force. So if we hold up below this level, so that the candle finishes below, there's a potential short through 40. Where's that? Through here. We just stop above. So let's do it here as well. Okay, so and through 40. Doesn't have to, but or maybe not. So whether that is going to mean anything just yet. Still, let's just keep an eye on this one. Trying to jam it up there, but I don't feel like you just go down, turn straight back up without respecting level. It's backing off, but it can't. I mean, you just keep going do all the rest of it. Another hour and a half if it wants to. I don't imagine the shorts in here to be too happy about it. Might try to knock it over. That doesn't look too. Needs to do a few more minutes, I guess, below here. It might just be that next. So it might be that it gets back below, say, 45, holds this candle in here, squashes it, basically. So you see the momentum's easing. It's just still trying to pop, still trying to pop. Still getting soaked up, which is Interesting. All right. Shall I short it now? Take 10 off down here. Just cracks 20. Take 10 off there. And I'll probably she gets back up here, 30, back at even about 37, I'll be out. It's more of scalping. I don't expect this to be too weak, but it is going. I'll be out. Oops, that was all right. 29, so look at that fly back up. At least we want to go long, doesn't it? All right, so never fear. It didn't go anywhere, did it? God, that was a good retracement. What's happened here? I think the users come out. I don't see why. It's a big flush higher. So I'm happy I got out there. What's the deal with that ramp? So the index, physical index, looks like it could get back up through and finish positive, which is 60 points down at the moment, just with the way this is holding around in here. That looked like it was, you do want to see any sort of rejection back into these lows. That's a good ramp. Just leads me to believe that kind of, that grind down, you should have seen something, probably edge down the way it's been edging higher. It started grinding down and bang, straight back up again. We could have a bit of a, any news? Wednesday, nothing. So you just watch that bit of a flush there and the way it popped. Rally through 63, 64. We're probably going to start taking out a few more because that's a bit of a higher low on the 5. We get through this kind of action. Oh no, I think I've just missed that. Good. Yeah, they're fighting it out at the moment. So this level's in play at the moment. Looks like it wants to go high, but someone's still trying to hold it. So if that counts, another minute, it's probably going to go. No. We get that deeper correction that we thought. So the Dow hasn't done much. Really hasn't done much at all. This little popping and oh, the Nikkei has rallied a bit. Too fast. That candle's just finished up. All right. Just thinking when I'm knocking on the eggs, probably won't be doing too much more, guys. Everyone's still in there listening nicely, so that sort of your corrective action. Probably. So now this is a level, so you've got, just mark that up. Let's move down, try to bounce this high, and we've had that extension down. Now we're up here. So really, that's your level. Just get rid of all that. Where are we going? We're going to back and fill up to there, or we're going to have. We do that, or we don't do that. Just seeing the fight there. Index itself, it's going to get a bit of a run on. So level there, wasn't it? It's 21, 26. It's about here. Right, so we just really just keep an eye on it. I do feel the way this is going. I mean, whether it can push or whether it just starts chopping around now. So it's getting late into the session. I mean, it's still probably halfway, but late. Generally, the moves are a bit more clearer. The action could be a bit more clearer, but the way it's bounced off that low, we could just Just see if the shorts take command a bit again. So now we've had 1, 2 legs higher of this. This is the move down. This is the anchor to all this move down. 1, 2, and that's the major anchor. All right, so this is it. So we had the shorter term anchors, which I thought could have held it down a bit more. It didn't. So this is a corrective phase of this leg down. But this overall move still down. This is making sense. But if we drop around here, that could be a lower high, but we'll just be watching it onto the ones. See if we can get another push down to 18 or even down to the lows, 477. The index, the overall indices are, let's get them up. The Dow's still, it's consolidated and set a bit of a ramp up from where it was 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 and 10 o'clock. It sort of popped up flush and had a bit of a move down on the Hang Seng Open, and it's back to where it sort of started, where it was trading around 10, 11 o'clock. So it hadn't really made too many moves. Whereas the Hang Seng's actually down. What have we got? The Nikkei's just took off. I can't see why. Nikkei's a bit of a random mover as well. The SPY is it's starting to pressure lower off the highs, but that could be like any other good time on the SPY, a flush. Get people short, switch them out again. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. So I don't want to show this trend because it could just bounce off here like I did there. If people were shorting and then flush. The thing is, what we did do is we got through this high, but that's not convincing. So it looks probably more negative than positive, but I wanted to see if we can get a lower high to work into, see if it flushes back up and we get some more weakness to work off. But it's still a contractive phase. I don't think it's broken just yet. The fact it's broken that trend line is one thing, but breaking the anchor, which is just essentially down here, 18, is another thing. So if we get something down here, potentially short into, then that could be if it's going to give us anything at all. That's probably a lower high. Yeah, it's not. All right, so how long have we been going for? Let's just check it out. Probably a bit bored of this action, so we might just call it a day there, guys. All right, so if there's any questions, anything you want to follow up, just send us an email to support@tradesetup.com.au. For those of you who are in, thanks very much for joining me. Back in tomorrow, hopefully get some action. There's not a lot happening during the day, to be honest. It's kind of random, choppy action. It's a bit tougher to trade lately. So just watching that move. Yeah, either way, thanks for joining me. We'll be back in, see how we go tomorrow, so if we can do another live stream tomorrow. get a few more people in. If you like what you see, it'd be great if you leave us a like on